Hi everyone and welcome back to Geordie Pride, Voices from the Northeast. This week we're joined by the fabulous Ophelia Balls, a legendary drag cabaret artist from Newcastle who's graced the stages of the Northeast and beyond for over 3 decades. From her humble charity shop beginnings to building a bold, unforgettable brand, Ophelia shares her journey, her insights on evolving drag culture and the importance of kindness, self-expression and never being afraid to break the mould. If you're passionate about creativity, authenticity and making your mark, this episode is packed with wisdom you won't want to miss. So pop the kettle on, get comfy and join us for a nostalgic yet fierce chat full of laughs with the amazing Ophelia Balls. You're listening to Geordie Pride, Voices from the Northeast. I'm Hayley and alongside my cousin Angela, we're thrilled to bring you the stories that share the heart and soul of the Northeast of England. Each episode we'll dive into the lives of extraordinary Geordies and those who call the Northeast home, exploring their journeys and celebrating their achievements. From the time to the teas, from the arts to the sports fields, we're here to share the tales of passion, resilience and of course, Geordie Pride. So whether you're from Whitley Bay or Washington, Gateshead or Gisborough, or you're just fascinated by the spirit of the Northeast, join us as we natter with the best the Northeast has to offer.
Hello, how are you doing?
We are good. We're so excited to chat to you.
Thank you.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in the Northeast? Where are you from?
Well, my name's Ophelia Balls, drag cabaret artist extraordinaire, or what I call myself now is prehistoric drag. I think I've been doing it that long, but I love it. And I started back in 1980 something with a lovely friend called David as a double act. And we were always interested in show tunes and musicals and jazz hands and all that. And then we done a little double act called Too Darn Hot. So it was fab, and we went around some clubs and stuff. We both had full-time jobs, and it was like a little bit extra. And then he decided to go to France to work, and I'm going, oh, okay then, off you go, bye-bye. And then I just concentrated on my main career for a while. I was always in hospitality and catering. And then I thought, we'll do a bit more. And Gracie La Glitz came about. So that was me before Ophelia. And I was christened that by a lovely friend who is no longer here called Tony. And I went around and it just wasn't right. I didn't concentrate on it. It was just really a little bit fun, but it wasn't as fun because I didn't have my other half with us, David, the drag partner. And he'd come back and he wanted to concentrate on his career. And so did I. So I was in hospitality, as I said. And then it wasn't till roundabout, I was doing bits and bobs, but it wasn't until around about 1999 where me and my other half got a guest house and we both started working for ourselves. And then I invested in costumes and agents and PA systems and lights, and it all took off from there. Hello.
Fabulous. What was it that wanted you to start doing it? Was there someone that inspired you, or did you just know you wanted to do it from early age?
Well, I actually started, my first dress I put on was in the Cub Scouts. I'd done an own little play when I was about 9 or 10. and then the youth club were looking for Cinderella. What would you be an ugly sister? Oh, go on, then I'll do that. And then school reviews, ended up in a frock. So I think it was destined, I was there to be like on the stage in a dress with a light shining on us. But I think I was always a bit funny, and to like get away with the gags and that, I donned a frock and some wigs, and that's what it was about. So I've always enjoyed entertaining, and this was a way of doing it cheekily, I think.
When it comes to sort of dressing up, like with dresses and obviously flamboyant dresses, and there's some beautiful
Do you think
dresses.
so?
Oh, gorgeous!
I'm dressed down. I didn't want you to show me up.
Do you have to specially get them designed, like made, or are they just, how do you go about doing that?
Well, when I was a bit thinner and I smoked 40 a day, I could buy off the peg, right? But now I've don't smoke and I put on 3 extra stone. And what I tend to do is I see a fabric, and the fabric to me sells it. So I can pay up to 25, 30 quid a meter for fabric. And if it's something like this, you just need something simple. But if it's a a cheaper fabric, you need frills and underneaths and right lining and more of it, you know. And I think in this day and age now, everyone is so very, very lucky to have what we call the internet. When I first started, you just couldn't get a hold of stuff like this, you know. I was going to Gosforth because posh people died and they had money. And the charity shops. So I was raking through all the charity shops and gossip. This is true, you know. So you knew that upon Teelan would have a special trip up on the bus to Ponteelan where you get a sequin two-piece or a nice frock because you knew it would be a label from Phoenix French or something. But you didn't have the internet, so that's how I used to do stuff. And hair, again, no internet. The back of the Sun or the Daily Mirror, you would see 3 wigs, $29.99, 28 days for a delivery, and you would pay the money, send a check in, and hope for the best that you're going to get some decent ones come back.
It's true though. Like whenever I'm on a charity shop haul, I'm always going to the posh places. Like if you go to like Ponteelan, Darras Hall, or
there you go.
yeah.
But so
They
the
just
younger ones go,
panic.
hey, really, Ophelia? And they don't believe us, you know, because they all just use, oh, that's nice, bam, 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 and they're off and they've got it, you know. But
Yeah, well,
it was
yeah.
a challenge for me. We didn't have none of that, you know. So getting back to the dresses, I used to buy stuff in the younger day, but now with the internet, you see something and I like it, I'll swap it around, I'll change the color. So I'm inspired by certain things, and I'll try my best to whoever's going to make them for us to give them a rough idea of what I want, and it normally comes back similar to what I want. But I can't buy off the peg anymore, and I just as well as it's nice to be individual and unique, you know.
Definitely. I love your wig, by the way. It's gorgeous.
Well, this is it's a burnt orange one. It's ombre. It's down here. I haven't done my roots for you. My roots need doing on this one.
You know, we were just saying before we started recording that we just felt, me and Angela felt super underdressed. It's like, look at my hair, look at you.
Well, I agree. I knew that I could have come underdressed as well, you know, but I couldn't. We have a standard over here. You look fab. You look brilliant.
Well, so how many wigs have you got?
Oh, well, I don't want to turn around because I'll pull me plugs out. I think there's about 30 here, and then above here there's another 10.
Wow.
And then in boxes there's some that need restyles, so there's about another 12 to 14 there. And then there's a bag of what I call flatties, so they're just like you put on and they just hang. So all of these, if you can see, they go on heads, and normally there's a bag on top just to keep the dust off and stuff. So wherever I go, you see us with a case and a carrier bag.
It must cost you an absolute fortune.
It does, but I think it's all about moderation. You know where you're going to go, you know what you're going to be hosting or working at, and sometimes you need new things for people to see. They want to see your new stuff, you know. But then there's other times where this, I know, say another 3 or 4 wears, it'll look sad and tired, and I've got a couple of friends who can do restyles, so I'll send them off and say, oh, give us a sweep over there, or make it higher, or just keep it down. It's really good where you can got friends where it's not just buying a hair, it's they can restyle it for you as well. So otherwise you end up with loads, so you've got to have them recycled. So yes, it does cost a lot of money. Yeah
I could only imagine keeping up with all of them. I wouldn't know where to start.
I think it's always gets you get out what you put in as well. So I think I've created a brand and a standard for me. So if I was to lose that standard or brand, maybe I wouldn't get as much work, you know. So and I've been there and just come through the years, through the levels, and I think I've created a rod for my own back, because when you see something and you think, I want that, I want to be the first to have that, you know. And I have been the first to have a couple of things throughout my career, and then you see everyone else has got it, and I think, well, I had it first. And I'm not saying no. It's just that you do something before someone else does, and it's nice if you see someone else who creates their own niche or their own little brand, and you think, good on you, you know, or how they go about performing, or what they wear, or their look or something, or they've always got their makeup's on trend, or they always wear the certain color hair, you know. And it's just nice where someone has a standard and a brand. And I think that's what I've done over the years, created a standard, and people just want oh, is that all she's wearing? Just them sequins? Where's the feathers to go with that? Where's the, do you know what I mean? And so you're just like, it's a roll, and you just get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go on.
Talking about the brand, like, how did you come up with Ophelia? Like, where did the identity come from?
Well, the lovely David that I used to work with for Two Down Hot was sat one night when we come back, and he said he didn't want to do it anymore. And we played around with names, and we come up with some really awful ones that I would rather not say on here. And I thought, we'll never get work. What are you going to? We can laugh at that, but you can't say, please welcome on stage in a social club. That people will come and kick you, you know. So there's loads out there. You can sit one night and just play around with names, and it's what your grandma was called, or the last thing you had to eat, or what did you last touch, or your boyfriend's grandma's name or something. So we thought Ophelia was fun from Shaky Spear, and then we thought Ophelia touch, Ophelia boobs, Ophelia balls. I thought that's how it has come, and we thought it was hilarious at the time, so here it is.
I think it's cracking.
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 I love it.
So where was your first performance, and how did you feel about doing that? Was it like nerve-wracking, or did you
I was
love it?
absolutely petrified. I'll tell you where it was. It was in a gay nightclub called Rockshots on Waterloo Street.
Yeah.
You might have heard of it, maybe not been there, but it was big, and it was the only gay club. It was absolutely a huge, big gay club, and it had a name for itself around the UK. And sadly, Adrian Gadd, the owner, is no longer here. We lost him about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was his birthday. And we'd been invited to his birthday party. It was on a Wednesday night, and I went up to Adrian and said, Adrian, do you want a bit of cabaret for your birthday? Go on then, but I don't want loads. Just there was 20 minutes. And I said to David, oh, we've been asked for us to do cabaret. And he still doesn't know that I asked. I said, oh, Adrian asked us, but I asked Adrian. And we've done 4 numbers behind this curtain, and we'd been built up, and we were both absolutely like bricking it. We really were. And the other half had knocked some little dresses together for us, you know, all bridesmaids dresses. We'd put some frills on and a boob tube fabric with a bit of frill on the bottom and on the top. And we'd hired these wigs. You could hire wigs at the time from a company called Transformations, which was down the Westgate Road, and they used to hire £10 deposit and £10 for the night. So we hired these big bouffant wigs. And we went out, we were both absolutely petrified, and would just give David at the time in a gay club. You had some poppers. I don't know if you've, so literally we'd open this poppers. It's amyl nitrate, and it just makes your blood go round. So David, you're going on, okay, and off he went after this big sniffer pop through the curtain, and I followed him, and that was our very first gig.
I've got a new baby. I should have some of them. Get a bit of energy in them.
They're known in gay venues, and you shouldn't take them if you do have a heart condition. But in our younger days, we're young and fit, you know. So I think that was the initial rush. Got him on stage. Woo! I'm through the curtain. Off I go. I've got no option.
And you're addicted since then. Not
to poppers. Yes. Well, addicted, I was going to say, yeah, it's in me blood. I love it. And I had lots of inspiration as well, you know. So the likes of Stanley Baxter, old like icons, John Inman, even John Inman was like there. Also, who else? Danny LaRue, and a fantastic drag queen in London called Regina Fong. You know, brilliant. And also in the clubland up here in Geordie land, you'll say Silk Stockings, and everyone knew Silk Stockings. Simon and Hilton, both dear friends of mine. Hilton sadly no longer here. And you could go around the clubs on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there would be a queue outside the door at 6 o'clock. And if you weren't there at 6 o'clock, you wouldn't get a seat. They inspired me quite a lot to know what they'd done. And I just said, I want to be like them. You know, so sadly, Simon doesn't do it anymore as Hilton passed away, but they could fill any venue, any club. They were absolutely amazing. So check them out. Have a look on the YouTube. They were brilliant.
Definitely, yeah.
Northeast legends, they really were.
It sounds amazing. Like, can you describe like what it was like back then versus now? Like, how has it evolved, the drag scene? Like, what was it like in Newcastle back when you first started?
Well, there wasn't as many people who wanted to do drag. You could name them all on maybe two hands. You know, you knew who wanted to do it as a full-time job, and there wasn't many who'd done it as a full-time job. It was more of a hobby. So it was a case of you couldn't spend too much because you weren't making it, and it was more of a charity night. Whenever there was a charity night on, it brought everyone out, and they shared a lipstick and an eyebrow pencil around a mirror, you know, and it was like bear in mind, back in the 80s, AIDS was a big thing, girls, you know, and there would be lots of charity events for the General Hospital at the time, which was Ward 25, and we would try and raise some money for people who were ill, maybe like radios or anything that would just give them some help. And one of the local legends, Greta Lamore, who was a queen and she still is, she'd done a lot of fundraising back in the 80s, and we would all come and we've got a charity night, love, are you going to be part of it? And yes, we would all go, yeah, we'll do it. And there would be money made, and it would all go to the General Hospital or people who were less fortunate than us. And I remember going through 2 o'clock in the morning, fully dressed up, working for a company called Body Positive Northeast, giving out condoms and information about awareness and stuff like that. And I thought, what am I doing this for? And I look back and I'm so proud of myself that I did do that. You know, where it's those memories, you can't, it's not there anymore, you know. So it has moved on, and it's all for the better. And a lot of people now think they can do drag, and everyone's entitled to do drag, but there's a lot more of it because of RuPaul putting drag in everyone's front rooms. But going back to the 80s and 90s, I think you had to have something different to survive, or be able to spend a bit of money and know what you are doing to entertain people, because if not, people would throw tins of fruit at you, you know. It's just but now I think everyone thinks it's easy, and there's so many different levels and avenues of drag now, where at one point it was a man in a dress. It's no longer a man in a dress, it's more than that. And if any people want to do drag, I totally accept it, you know, and you have to.
Yeah. So when you're out and about and you're doing your shows and things, do you find any any challenges that you've got to face, and how do you overcome them? Is a general sort of positivity when you're doing your shows?
Normally, very much so. I work in a very, very exclusive venue on a Friday evening. It's called the Garter Noir. It's the Black Garter on Clayton Street, and it's one of my favourite pubs, and that's where my challenges are. And I overcome them by shouting at them. I think I've earned me stripes there. And do you know, like the Tower of London, if the Ravens ever leave, I think if I ever leave the Black Garter, it'll fall down. I absolutely adore that place. I really do. So you'll get your regulars. Harry, Gary, hi, Bill. You all right? You looking canny the neat, like, love your moves, like. And I think, thanks very much. And Harry, Ophelia, who's Ophelia? Wait, how are there, man? And you've got, honestly, I can't describe. And people say, what do you work there for? And I absolutely love it. I've made so many friends and acquaintances over the year. And I think once I can tick off the Black Garter, I can survive anywhere, you know, and I've made that, and I get so much respect in that part. And if people don't like it, they just leave. But normally they know I'm there. And most Fridays, not all the Fridays, and they come in and just evolve and just immerse themselves in the fun. And we'll have such a good night. Just it's easy work. I sing, host karaoke, call them worse than muck sometimes, and they come in, get stag parties in, hen parties in, take the mick out of the guys, and it's just a fun night. I love it.
I don't know how I haven't seen you, to be fair. I've been to the Black Garter loads of times.
Not on a Friday night at 8:15, you haven't.
I mustn't have been. But now I will go.
I was going to say, we'll have to head down now.
You know the type of atmosphere the Black Garter, it's certainly tarnished, and it shouldn't be, because it's excuse me, my eyelashes stuck. There's nothing worse, is there? There we go. It's brilliant beer. A shower insists on a perfect pint, and it's rather cheap, and also it's just a brilliant atmosphere. You just get characters in there, and I absolutely adore it. You know, it's so fun. You've got to queue at 9 o'clock in the morning getting in.
Yeah, the salt of the earth, the people that go there, honestly.
Definitely.
But yeah, the tag a bit like that, but it's quite canny.
Oh, hi. Yari, Gary, nice to see you, like, Gary. Who's that, like? Well, it's Ophelia Balls-drag, do you not know him? So, and I'm fine. I'll go, and as soon as I just walk in with the cap and my big grey coat, behind the bar. Who's that gun behind the bar? Oh, it's Ophelia man. And I said, oh, yeah. I love it. It's a different world, and I wouldn't change it. If I totally retire, I would still do me Friday night at the Black Garter just for something to do and just like enjoy it, because I really, really do.
I'm coming down on a Friday night.
25 years I've been there, girls.
Wow.
I know, 25 years. Think of the amount of people I have met in the Black Garter over 25 years.
Yes, I know. Amazing.
I know.
Well done.
Have you done a lot of drag outside of Newcastle, and like how does it compare? Like, I mean, we're from the northeast. We love Newcastle.
Mhm.
Like, we've got such a good group of people. Like, we're banter, like we're sense of humor. Like, I love it. But like, I'd love to see like how it compares like to other parts of the country when you do drag. Is it much of the same or?
No, not at all. I think if you get yourself a name for yourself, people will come and support you. But I have been lucky. I've had agents, and I've worked in Edinburgh, and I had an agent in Sheffield who would put us to Rotherham and Halifax, Huddersfield, Sheffield, and I would do all these bars. And ladies' nights, I've done a lot of ladies' nights with strippers, and I had to share the dressing room with them. It was terrible.
Oh no, I can only imagine that was a terrible chore.
Terrible. Stop looking at me now. No, and then I worked in Brighton a couple of times. I've been lucky enough to went to Mallorca and done a bit in Benidorm. But it's party time over abroad. But coming back to this country, I've done Belfast, I've done Scotland. I've been all over. So yes, I think if you're good, you'll get well received. But if you've got a name for yourself and people know you, it's even better, and they appreciate it. They know you, so they want to come and support you.
Oh, definitely. Have you got like a special performance that you've done, or something that's been really like fun that sticks out in your mind? You think, oh, I've got to tell the girls this.
I've probably got a few. I've got some dramas though with shows that I've done. One of them that we used to have a snake, and that was when I had the double act with David. That was one of the highlights. We got these fabrics, red and white, up and down fabric. It was stripes, and we come out with this snake, and it was like an Egyptian dance. And this was one of the highlights. We got a snake, a royal python, just to come out with a snake, and we wanted one, and it just wasn't eaten. And we thought, we've got to keep this snake in the show. So we had to feed it frozen stuff, and it wasn't eating the frozen stuff. So we had to then buy a live mouse, to try and keep the snake alive. And then we popped it in, and then put the lid on, said, right, hopefully you'll eat it in the morning. And then we got up in the morning, and the snake's sitting as the mouse is sitting on the snake's back, just cleaning itself. So I had to buy a cage for the mouse.
With 2 pets.
So I know that's taken away from my favourite performance, but one of those was the snake performance that I absolutely loved. And another one was an AIDS benefit. It was a song that I just lit a candle, and I had the whole room with us, and I really felt that it was a lovely performance. And some shows I finish off, I take all this off and I become a man. And there's a piece of music by a local guy called John Miles. He's sadly no longer with us. And it's called Music Was My First Love. And I normally sometimes finish some of my shows, my big club shows and corporate hospitality events. And sometimes I'll finish my shows like that. That normally always works. And I just get a buzz, because it's just like really nice. People appreciate what you're doing. And there's another one that I do, and I turn into the Angel of the North. So that one's always fun. It just the crowd go, yo! And they're touching performances I've done.
I love that. How do you change into the Angel of the North? Are you allowed to say, or is that like a little secret?
No, I've just normally I've got like quick change music. So when I'm doing different characters, and I'll put that little bit extra in, so I'll step into this costume. Then I've got a big silver one over the top, and then I'll just some lip sync to some words. Then that comes off in the music, and then arms are up, and then there we are.
Love it. Oh, fabulous. Actually, talking about that, like, can you just give a little insight as to how you get ready for these events? Like, how long does it take you? Like, what's the process of going from Gary to Ophelia?
Well, I've made life a bit simpler over the last 6 to 7 years. Used to have PA systems, mini disc systems, CD systems, computers, laptops. everything that you need, and lights, smoke machines, setting it all up. And if you're in a social club, the chances are that the club room's upstairs, so you've got to get it all upstairs, then you've got to set it all up, and then you've got the club secretary, so you kind of prop the door open without maintenance. So you've got all the health and safety issues to deal with, which is fine, totally accept them. And then you've got to set it all up, and then you've got to perform, and then you've got to take it all down, then you've got to get home. And I'm getting on, I'm 35. I thought, I don't need this anymore, So I only do gigs now that have a DJ or a disco equipment, or I can plug in there. So then I've just got to take my costumes with me in different hairs. So and sometimes like banners for advertising and stuff. So I haven't got any PA system at all. So I've made life easier that way. But say if I'm working on a Saturday evening, I would maybe start. I normally try and get to a venue about 6 o'clock. Regardless of what time the crowd's coming in, then I know I can set up backstage. I can work out what I'm going to do, set any props that I need up, any advertising banners that I can get all sorted. Have a chat with people, see how many's in, what time they might be having food. So I need to know what time I've got to be ready for. I'm normally always working not just by myself, but I'll either be working with some guys as well. So on stripper nights, so I need to tell them what time to be there. And also sometimes I'm starting work with younger queens now, and I think it's nice just to put the younger queens with me, and I've got 3 or 4 that are more than happy to work with us. They love working with us, and I think it's a great way of mixing the old with the new, and it goes down great. So I've got all these younger generation queens who can death drop and slut drop and yah, and they're lovely. They're really good friends of mine, and so the crowd interact with the younger generation and me. So I've got to make sure that I'm there for them. I want to find out different times and then work out if there's disco after we finish, and allow people to have a little dance before the taxis come. So it's all of that, incorporating that in, So it's not just a 7-Eleven affair, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, there must be loads going into it. Do you if you were to give some advice to someone who was wanting to become like a drag artist, what advice would you give them?
Oh, don't get too big before your time. Yes, a lot of this younger generation think they're just Lady Gaga, and you can't be Lady Gaga before you've been Lady, if you know what I mean. It's a stepping stone, right? And you don't go too fast up the ladder, because you've got the other side to climb down, and always be nice to people, because you're on a ladder of success and you've got to come down that ladder as well. So you're going to meet the people, if you've ever been nasty to people on that way down. Be kind, be lovely, don't be scared to ask anybody for help or support or guidance. I'm more than happy to help anybody. If someone come to me and say, Ophelia, where did you get this? I wouldn't actually tell them, but I would tell them how to go about getting. I don't want someone to look like this. This is my brand. Where if someone said, oh, I love your hair, where did you get it from? I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to say, well, you like it. Well, why don't you maybe have a different color and go there, and they can do something similar, but they're not getting what I wear. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to be careful. Otherwise, everyone's going to be a carbon copy of everyone. And I think I mentioned before about RuPaul being very accessible in everyone's front room. So there's a lot of everyone wants to do drag, but then I think where they're going to go with it, I think you've got to know what platform you want to be on. So a lot of people are just happy doing a performance in front of people and leaving it there, which is great. And a lot of people are great with a microphone and they can sing a bit, which is good. A lot of people just want to look fabulous and stay in the bedroom and going, yeah, which is great. So you've got different types of queens. Do people want to do it as a full-time job and they're capable of? So you've got people who maybe don't want to do it, but work in makeup and they're brilliant at putting faces on and they can dress amazing and they're happy just doing a performance. So there's all forms of it. And I feel as though you just got to be, the younger generation I think they need to respect the older generation. Because if it wasn't for the older generation, maybe they wouldn't be here. And I always get a lot of respect. I must say, I do. I get loads of respect. So thank you, all my younger fans. And it's a two-way thing, though. I respect the younger generation as well. I really do. It's no good just. I've never put blockages in the way. I would always try and help people. So it's just be kind. That's what be kind, and don't be scared to ask for help and support.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that you think that you haven't been that you would love to do a gig at? It doesn't have to be in the Northeast. It can be anywhere. Where do you reckon?
Oh, I was lucky enough I think it was 2018, to work for a company called Club Kids, and they employed a lot of RuPaul drag queens. And I got asked off Andrew, who was the director of it, do you want to come on tour with me? And it was a queen called Alaska. And I co-hosted the show, and there was 10 venues all around the UK, and I was so lucky to be able to host that show. We went everywhere. We went to Belfast, went to Dublin, Glasgow, London, Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, Newcastle, and this is a queen that had been on television, and she had her own way of speaking. Hello, Ophelia, how are you today? And she was just brilliant. She was really good, and she had a massive following. And I thought, how lucky am I to be able to go to these big places and host this RuPaul queen? And I said, do you not mind the older generation? She says, no, I love it. It's really good. She says it just shows there's a mutual respect there, as I was saying earlier, and it was so nice. I'm going, oh, Alaska loves me, because I was flapping in case you didn't like it. I'm going, but it went on great. So, but I managed to do a place that I always thought I would like to do, and it's called the Clapham Grand in Clapham. It's absolutely an old theatre. Imagine the Tyneside Theatre. And it's old like that. It's so, and it's got character, so he's got all the boxes and the red velvet curtains, and it's just stunning, and it's just absolutely fab. There's nowhere really I think I would like to work. I've worked a bit abroad, and I've done all over the countries, all over here. So I don't think there's anywhere I'd really. There's nowhere that, as you've mentioned, there's nowhere really. I've been very happy with all the places I've worked.
When I think about drag artists, it feels like a massive way to just some self-expression. Like you're just able to express yourself in such a different way. Mm-hmm. Like, do you feel as though that has been a massive part of your life, not just as your career, but you personally as well? Like, what has that meant to you, being able to perform in drag and be able to express yourself in that style?
I'm very lucky, I think. I've created a character. Ophelia's a character. So all of this is my uniform for work. Once this all comes off, I'm back to Gary. And I'm very lucky to be able to entertain people like this. I couldn't entertain people without it. So this is my uniform, and I'm quite outrageous and do you know what I mean? I'm in it. Hi girls, how you doing? Ooh, good evening. Sing them live, tell them jokes, make them laugh, and get audience participation. But I just couldn't do that as Gary. I really couldn't. So I've been very lucky enough to be able to find a uniform to put on to enjoy my job. And once I'm finished, it all comes off. Back in the case, them smelly tights get washed, the towel puts in the washer, and packed away for the next time. And then I think, but the case is always at the door, ready to go out again, So I'm been very lucky. And so what I'm trying to say, Ophelia is a different character, and I don't. If I've got any views or opinions as Gary, I don't normally use Ophelia to get them. I've never mentioned religion. I never mentioned politics. I keep away from all of that. Yes, I'll F and blind a little bit because people are paying money and expect that from a drag queen sometimes. I don't get into current political issues. I don't upset anything. I never talk about Newcastle versus Sunderland. I never talk, I just don't. As I've made one big mistake once, and it was, I've done a great social club in Edinburgh. Great night, all the girls up, and I finished with Tina Turner, Simply the Best, and I got booed. And I didn't realise it was a football song. Somewhere along the lines, it had been a football song, and boo, and what have I done? I probably get everyone,
I know it's usually a classic, isn't it? I love that one.
No, I've done the wrong song. So I'll just always be careful about so I don't get into it. So have a nice time. Have you had a lovely time? Great. Back to normal. Take everything off and go.
For me, it's I'm always Hayley. I'm never really anyone else, and just having that persona to be able to perform in a different way, a different style. I just love it. It's just so unique.
Oh,
it is, and I do. I am very lucky, so I can get away with a bit more cheeky and a bit naughtiness, especially with the straight heterosexual fellas. You know what I mean? Oh, so you can just especially if the missus are in. You just they love it.
Especially in the Black Garter.
Definitely.
Yeah, Angela's back out now with her partner. You'll see her next week.
I'm full on beard muscles.
Big
Oh,
lad, you'd have fun
not
with
my
these.
type at all. I'm there this Friday, then I'm on my jollies, so I'm going to have a couple of weeks off. So I'm there this Friday, then I'm.
There you
I
go.
I'll
think
have
I'm
to come
for
and
9:30.
see you. Yeah, I'll
Oh,
come
yeah.
and see you with my David.
You'll have to. I'll get you a shandy, and I'll get David too.
Oh, it's got to be a snake bite, man. You got to
Oh,
have snake bite.
I've got a keg of snake bite in my bedroom. You can come back.
Oh,
I'll get him on
brilliant.
the karaoke, but he'll have to learn in my bedroom first. See, that's that type of stuff I do all the time, and then it just works. It works for me. So
Definitely. Oh, we'll have to definitely come and see you.
I do. It's a fun night, you know. Don't stay all night because you'll go, what on earth? But come in for a couple then and off you trot to somewhere nice. Cheryl Killers. It is nice. It's cheap. It's fab. It's great atmosphere. I get people sitting in the same seats. They reserve the seats. This is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
They reserve the seats. I've got people. That's our seat. We sit there. Oh,
We'll
sorry.
be fighting over it.
Yeah. They move about. Yeah. Oh, no, Ophelia's on at 8 o'clock. You can sit there, but then you'll have to move.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm having a big, at some point, I'm playing with my ear. Sorry, it keeps dropping out. At some point this year, we're going to be having a big celebration, as I said, because we've been there 25 years. And I think I can say the word, I think I've made the Black Garter an institution. You know, you would never think a drag queen would work in a bar like the Black Garter, you know. And as I said, people do say, what on earth do you work there for? And I do love it. So we're going to have a right royal do, 25 years, centenary. Well, I don't know what we're going to call it, but we're going to have a little celebration of me being there 25 years, I think, June or July.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
That should be
I'll
fun.
definitely come then.
I'll give you a royal invite, lasses.
Oh, good. I'll bring my David along. He'll love it.
Well, and then I'll look after David and you get home, you see.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm just on the water as well. I thought, well, I have a little gin and lemonade. I'm just on the water. How sad am I?
Oh, I've cracked open the wine. But to be fair, so for anyone listening, we're recording this the day after Newcastle won the Carabao Cup final. So I cracked open a bottle of bubbly last night and I'm finishing it off today. So I'm like, it loses its fizz. I need to use it.
You're finishing the crate off today.
Oh, yeah. The vats in the back of the garden.
Someone's trampling on the grapes.
Yeah, that's what my husband's doing. Get him working hard. Do you think there's been any misconceptions about drag that you've seen that have evolved over the years, that have been eradicated? Because you mentioned RuPaul earlier, and obviously drag's become much more mainstream. Is there anything that's helped you in that respect, like that's changed over time?
Well, I think it's made more accessible to everyone. You know, where at one point it was frowned upon. You know, oh, what's a man putting women's clothes on for? Mm-hmm. And it was like, what are you doing that for? And people couldn't understand. It was just a way of expressing fun. And it was my job. This is what I do to make a living, you know? So I'm very, very lucky since 1999 to be able to do this. And I am, honestly, I hate using the term blessed, but I have been blessed, you know? But I think you only get out what you put in, as I said before. And I think a lot of people, what does get to me, and it's just my opinion, and I've been able to do it. I got asked to do drag story time. So I read a book to some younger children and the parents were in the back and the children come round in the front. And it was great. We had a really good time. There was a couple of us. It was brilliant. And there was photographs getting taken, but we didn't take any of the children, and just of the hands and things like that, them playing with the toys, and the mothers were there. And we got a round of applause. And to me, that is great. It's just a character reading a story. I don't have any issues with that, but people in different countries do have issues with that. And it's just, you know, it's just like, just let people have a nice time. You know, it's not hurting anybody, you know, just like, let's all have a nice time. We're not here that long.
And it's so entertaining. It's like you're expressing yourself, like, and it's just so fun to watch. And it's just you just, and I know there's always the exception. Like even in my lifetime, I've noticed a big shift, and it's like it's just something that I just hope continues to evolve, because there's always going to be someone that's going to be offended about something somewhere, but you can just hope that that continues
Always.
to improve.
Always. I mean, it really is. It can be very hurtful, especially with all the social media kicking about now. You know, I've seen people who have made TV and they've had hate and rottenness, and they just come away from it all. And you think, this is so sad. You know, people don't need to be called this or be hated or wanted to be killed. You know, just like, and people come off Twitter and Instagram, and you think, there's no need for this, you know. We're just trying to do a job, but I think it'll always be there, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think with the rise of social media as well, it's there's always going to be something like that to some degree. Do you hang around on social media, or do you try to keep away from it?
Well, I'm always on the. Yeah, I've got to. I think it's my job. That's my office. So Instagram pings, I need to look. I need to like at something. Twitter / X, I'm on there. So I've got people who put things on. I share them. I like stuff. Facebook, I'm on there. I need to advertise where I'm going to be, or if venues are that I use or advertise and stuff, I'll share stuff. So yes, I am on it. It does help me. So I'm not on as much as I used to be, but I am, because I'm not working as much as I used to, and that's my choice. You know, at one point I was 6 nights a week. I just can't do that now. You know, yeah, I was. Yeah, and then 5 nights a week, and I would say Monday I would have off. Tuesday I would be always Sunderland. Sunderland was a great night back in its day, so I was there for about 8 years. Wednesday I would work in Rusty's. Thursday I would cover Simon, who was Rusty, if he was in Turkey. Friday was me Black Garter. Saturday I hosted Adonis Cabaret, which was like a big hen night place. We'd have 200 girls in there sometimes, and then I would finish off at Rusty's from 11 till 3, and then Sunday I would be at the Bank Bar, and then Monday it would be day off, and then start again on Tuesday. So literally I was like that.
You've just tired me out saying that.
Yeah, and it's not just picking your bag up and going. It's what you're wearing, you know, all the stuff that you need. Like when I was DJing, you would like take your CDs with you, you know, so you had a big case of CDs, and then you had to get the current music. Oh, it's just like, I loved it, and I still do. I still enjoy my job, but I'm in a position now where I can pick and choose what I want, and that's nice, you know.
Yeah.
I've done it for 30 plus years, so I don't have to work every night. So I'm very, very lucky. So I'm lucky that way. So if I did have to do it, well, I would certainly get more work in. But at the moment, I'm in a position where I can. Oh, I don't want that one. But sometimes it backfires off you, though. Sometimes it does. So I'm not going to tell you too much on it. But so I thought, right, how to get out of this. So if I overcharge myself, people will say I'm not paying that. So last year there was a gig coming. I put a ridiculous fee on it, and went, oh yeah, that's fine. I went, oh no.
Well, at least you got a nice bonus.
I did. I thought, oh yeah, I'll say, right, I'll put yeah, that's fine, with no problem. I went, okay, and I thought, right, don't do that again.
So apart from the Black Garter, where's like the best place in the northeast for drag?
For drag, well, we've got the gay scene, haven't we? So we've got that. I was used to work in the bar called Bobby's. I was DJing there twice a week. Sadly, no longer there. We've got the Yard, which is the oldest gay bar in Newcastle. There's always drag on there every night. So you've got the singing queens, DJs, and do a little numbers throughout. You've got Switch next door. That's not really draggy. You've got Rusty Shaw Bar, which is brand new. So they put shows on Fridays and Saturdays. And then there's normally a drag queen host in Rusty's. And then you've got the Tipsy Cow, which is really, it's a fun little bar just behind Lane 7. Paul and Vicky are there, and Wendy. So that's always a place to drop in. You know, people, it's forgotten. It's not the best looking bar, but you don't need the best looking bar because it's got a great atmosphere. It really has. So you always have fun night in the Tipsy Cow. And then you've got Boulevard, which isn't really a gay bar. It's not classed as, it's more of an entertainment complex. So you've got a lot of cabaret happening there. So we're very lucky, really, in the northeast to have all of that.
Definitely. I think that is a good thing about Newcastle, is that it's not necessarily got hundreds of bars or flashy bars or chains or things like that. Some of the best bars in Newcastle are just some of those little hidden gems that you just have the best atmosphere, and that's
totally.
That's all you want, isn't it? That's all you want in a night out.
And I mean, it's not like you go to Manchester gay scene and Blackpool gay scene, which are great, but there's lots of it, and so it takes you a while to get round places. You know, where at least if you come to Newcastle, you can do them all within a couple of hours. You know, and say hi to everyone. I mean, it's a party palace, Newcastle, as you know. I did have a nice Christmas, I must admit. I was kindly asked to be part of a panto, which was a Northeast panto, a Northeast adult panto last year, and it was Dick Whittington, and I was Fairy Balls.
I can imagine.
So,
Fairy what?
Fairy Balls.
Fairy balls.
And it was brilliant. I was along with Katie Price, believe it or not. We only done 5 shows and it was at North Shields. So we had Katie Price in North Shields as Queen Rat. I was on one side of the stage. She was on the other side of the stage. All right, Ophelia. Yes, I'm all right, Katie. You all right? I come on. Hello, welcome, Fairy Balls. And then she come on and it was brilliant. And we had so much fun. I was asked to do it again. And I'm just peeling this off my wall. It's not an advert. This was on my dressing room at all times. I got asked to do it this year as well. But it wasn't just in Newcastle. It was a UK tour.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, look at that.
There I am. So it was Snow White and the 7 drag queens. I know.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's my kind of pantomime.
It was very naughty. So we had 2,000 people in the city hall, and that was nerves for me. That was something that I'd never done. I'd never performed in 2,000 people, and in the opening number, and it was a song from the musical called Six, and we all had different lines, and we all had to dance. I can't dance, but I managed it great, and the audience was absolutely fantastic. So we went to 9 places on a tour bus. So the next night we were in Brighton, the next night we were in Leeds, the next night we were in Glasgow. So that was fun. So that was a new thing that I hadn't really done, theatrical panto. So I've put that on my list and ticked off.
I love that. Is there any other big dreams that you want to tick off your list other than panto?
I always wanted to do a bit of television, but I'd done a bit of television. There was a company called Made in Tyne and Weir, a channel, and there was a little LBGT, I can't even say it. Anyway, LGBTQ plus community. There we go. I got it. And I was a dragon aunt, and it worked. So they would have a little problem come in from Peter from Benwell, and I used to have to solve the problem. So there's a couple on YouTube. Check them out. Dragon aunt Ophelia Balls on the YouTube. So it was all scripted. Hello, my lovelies. Well, today I've got such a problem for you. Hey, well, Peter and Benwell. I'll tell you about Peter and Benwell, but I've been talking to this one, and I would just little story up, and then would eventually solve the problem. So that was fun. And then I'm in everyone's ears Pride Radio every morning as well, so from 7 till 10. So I'm still quite a busy girl, really.
Keep yourself busy.
Oh yes, definitely.
Right, should we dive into the quick fire questions, Angela?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to go first? Me or you, Haley?
Go on, you go first, Angela.
Okay, right. The first one. If you could do a duet performance with any celebrity, who would it be and why?
Barbara Streisand. I absolutely love Barbara Streisand. I was so lucky enough to see her live in London in 2008 or 9. And every time something Barbara Streisand comes on, I would just love to do it. Absolutely love it. I would love to sing No More Tears with Barbara Streisand. Enough is enough. I can't go on.
You've heard it here first.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Barb's all the way.
Yep. Good answer.
Next one. What's your ultimate lip sync song?
Ooh. That I like to do or I like to see people do?
Let's say you.
Okay.
What you'd like to do.
I'm going to say it's from a musical called Jekyll and Hyde, and it is called This Is the Moment. It's a lovely slow song, and it has a lot it just builds. And it's really quite, and I used to learn all the words off by heart and all the pauses and all the, this is the moment. And it's quite meaningful and it's a lovely song, quite dramatic. And I was quite over the top with the lips and everything. This is the moment. And another one, Celine Dion, Think Twice. I used to love that.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Brilliant.
Yes, they're 2 classics I love.
Oh, fab. Stomach muscles are aching. We're laughing already. Right, next one I've got. Northeast question. So the number one thing you love about living in the Northeast?
I think it has to be friendliness in the hospitality of people, really. I think that's what I think. So, you know, but you go to Manchester and further down, and people will go. Where up he'll go, hiya, they'll hold the door open for you. They've got no idea who you are. They'll go, I'll read, they'll speak to you in the street. It's just, it's the people. That's what I love about living in the Northeast, the people.
We've just got like that good kind-heartedness.
Yeah, generous people, and you just wouldn't get that anywhere else, I don't think. You know?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Like, even because, like, as I say, I live in Leeds now, and obviously people down in Yorkshire are very friendly, very lovely, but for me it just still doesn't compare. Like, I just miss the Northeast banter. And
So when you're coming back then?
oh, and Angela's been asking me this for years.
I've asked her for years.
I will, I promise.
If you're happy there, you know, and that's it. If your job's there, your life's there.
Yeah. I mean, my heart is still at home, so we will be there one day.
You're an hour and 10 minutes down the road, and it's not that far, really.
We're not far. Doesn't take long.
Next.
So the next one is, what's your favourite Geordie saying or word?
Why, aye, man.
Yes, the classic. That's my favourite as well.
I do like. I'm on a little WhatsApp group, and we'll call it Howie. So Howie. So I do like, but it has to be why aye, man.
Oh, it does. Yeah, I've got, because my children have lived here that long, the sound Yorkshire, and so I keep telling them to say like little Geordie phrases and words like that, and I'm always saying "how are man" to them, and it's so funny listening to them saying it in a little Yorkshire accent. I'm like, no, we need to work on this, girls. Come on.
Talking about accents, though, girls. Do you know what I mean? I think another one that I think is quite local to us. I don't know if it's anyway, but when you go to the seaside, you have a plodge.
Oh, yeah.
Plodge.
Yeah,
You hold your pants up, you have a plodge. And then what are pigeons kept in? Pigeons are kept in crees. Well, I think that's local as well.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people, cree, what's a cree? Well, you keep your pigeons in a cree. You're going for a plodge.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I always ask this one as well. Do you know this? Do you know what
How are they? What?
Do you know what a cracket is?
Yes, it's something you sit on.
There you go. You see,
yes, it's a little stool, and if you turn it upside down, you get 4 on.
Yes.
Redemption.
You know what? You're the only one that's actually said the right answer. I've had to tell everyone else what it means. It's like, do you not know what a cracket is?
All I can describe it as is like like what I would say a milking stool, like a little and with 4 legs. Yeah, and it's a little cracket.
And the prize
don't get your grandma's cracket. Yeah, and sit by the fire on your cracket, toasting your crumpets.
Yes.
You finally got it. Yeah.
How do I know that when I'm only 35?
Well, you're 25. Plus fat.
A bit more. I've got a bit more VAT than you, I think.
Oh dear. Right.
I've got another one.
Should we do the last one here?
Yeah, fire away.
Yes. Was that me or you?
You do, because I did the cracket one.
Right. So your last question is, what is your go-to Greg's order?
Right. Well, I know this because I did it this morning. When it's at 8, I was doing this. It was, and normally I'm not a big. I'll tell you what I had today, and normally this is what I order now. It was, can I have a bacon bap with extra bacon and ketchup and a large cappuccino?
Yes. Can you ask for extra bacon?
Yeah, you pay for it though. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, mate.
Oh, I got an extra bit. Yeah, she must have. Yeah, she gave us a bit. I was chocker with sauce as well. I was dripping all the way down my hands.
Oh, nice.
I love a Greg's breakfast sandwich, mind. That's cracking. Like, you go to like little cafes and stuff around here, and just go to Greg's, get yourself a bacon and sausage sarnie.
Yes, and you probably serving farm cakes down there where we've got stotties.
Oh, you get stotties?
Well, no, we still do stotties up here. But you probably down there, you get a barm cake, don't you?
Yeah, we just get like it in a bun, like
What's your bun called? Is it a barm? Are you having a breakfast barm?
they'll call, what do they call them? Like, they'll call them tea cakes.
Tea cakes.
In
Yeah.
some places I've seen them, which for me are tea cakes, like one of the like the sweet ones that you
With the
like with
raisins in
crumbs and stuff in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they call like because I've always said a bread bun, but yeah, they call them tea cakes or
Barm cakes, and there's
barns,
another thing as
like-
well. I've forgotten what it is, but yeah, there's different names for them. But we've got stotties up here, and stotties are a stotty. You can't knock a stotty.
I love a stotty. Whenever anyone goes back up northeast to me, I'm like, bring me back Greg's stotties, please. So then someone will come to my door and they'll be like, I've got a pack of stotties for you, Haley. And I'm like, oh my God, love it.
Can I ask a question though, girls? Have you noticed over the years how a Greg's cheese and onion pasty has changed?
It's
Is
not
it just me?
Yeah, they're not so tasty, are they? They're not as cheesy oniony.
Thank you. It's now a cheese bake, and I think
Yeah.
there's less. It's more potato in there.
Potato, yeah, it's more potato,
Yeah.
less onion.
Smell the cheese. Smell the
Yeah.
cheese. Take it away. Smell
Yeah.
the cheese. Take it away.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. You've got a whiff of the cheese and it's gone. We'll put the potato in instead. That's what Greg's was cheese and onion bake.
Yeah, that used to be my favourite. That used to be my number one. Was a
Me
Greg's
too. Me
cheese
too.
pasty.
And these gorgeous chicken and vegetable pie. Where's that gone?
I know, where's that? I know.
I tell you what they don't do down here that they do back home, and I always get when I go back home a mince pie.
Really?
Yeah, they don't do them down here, much to my dismay. So every time I go home, off to Greg's, get me stotties and I get me mince pie.
Right. Because in Manchester as well, I think there were Greg's, but it was called a different name. It could have been Martin's. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
But you could see it was Greg's because it had the same type of writing and the colours and stuff, but it was under a different name. So, but I think it's Greg's across the UK now. But at one point, Greg's was just Northern. Yeah, I'm sure PH here.
How very dare they?
I know. I am. I'm going to shut up.
Oh, that was brilliant. Great answers.
Welcome. It's been lovely talking.
Yes, but before we say goodbye, is there anything else you want to share with us? Any upcoming projects or events that you want us? You mentioned the 25-year thing. Is there anything like that coming up that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm not sharing my holiday that I'm going away with on Saturday with anybody. I'm going away for 2 weeks. When's this coming out? It's going to be April, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be back then. So I'm going to India. So yes, when you watch this, I'll have been to India.
Nice.
On my list. Love to go there. Whereabouts?
We're flying into Chennai, on the east coast, doing a little temple tour. Then we're flying over to Goa, having 5 nights in Goa. And then I'm getting the train up to Mumbai. I'm going to feel like the Pussycat Dolls doing Jai Ho. I just can't wait. I've got I just can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. I'm going with a partner. I'm going with Claire, a travel companion who we've managed to see lots of the world. So I've been very, very lucky. And I think it's going to be her last long haul holiday. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, amazing.
Have
a lovely time.
And I'm looking forward to growing a beard. The problems that you have, it's all trendy. Like your fella, has he got a beard?
Yeah, full on. Yeah,
full on. Well,
me too.
The last time I had a full on was not as big as yours, but the last time I had a full on with COVID, and I didn't realise that it was coming in different colours. Well, it never used to. I don't know what the problem was there, but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Not shaving every day. What else am I looking forward to this year? I can't reveal it yet because it hasn't been officially advertised, but I think I'm doing something with Northern Pride, Newcastle Pride. So that'll be interesting. What else have I got lined up? Not much really. Chillaxing, doing a couple of private events, doing some weddings, still working for Pride Radio, which I love. It's really good. That's fun. Get to meet lots of people. Possibly hosting an event in South Shields for South Tyneside Pride. So yeah, and just plodding on and still out there in the world of social media.
Yes, do you want to share your social media, and then we'll keep an eye out for those events that you're mentioning?
Oh, well, of course. On the Facebook, it's Ophelia Balls, and then on the Instagram, it's Real Ophelia B, and then on the Twitter /X, it's Real Ophelia B as well. So give us a few more followers and I'll get up to 5,000. I can't wait. I'll be dead excited.
Get up to that 5K. Brilliant. So that's great. Thank you so much for chatting with me and Angela.
You're welcome.
Loved it.
Fabulous. Well,
I'll probably see you at Black Garter.
Well, I hope so. Come in and I'll buy you a baby charm or a cherry bee. Your choice.
Cherry bee.
Which would you choose?
Cherry bee. Cherry bee.
Yes, fabulous. So thank you so much. And yeah, everyone follow Ophelia Balls. And yeah, thank you for joining us. We've had a great chat.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Now, my other half's made some chicken and sweet corn soup. So I had roast chicken yesterday for lunch, and he said, I'm not throwing that carcass away. So it's been there. So I'm going to go and judge his chicken and sweet corn soup.
Oh, lovely. It sounds fabulous.
I don't know, but you float an egg in it as well. So it's like got that, you know, have you ever been to a Chinese and had chicken and sweet corn soup?
Yeah.
You know that like slimy bit?
Oh, the white bit. Is that egg?
Egg?
Yeah, it's egg.
No, I've never thought about what it is. I just thought it was floaty shit.
Yeah. So I'm going to go and test his consistency and I'll judge.
Oh.
He's a great cook, I must say. I just said.
Thank you, enjoy that. Lovely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support Geordie Pride further, then don't forget to subscribe, share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram @Geordie Pride. Until next time, keep that Geordie Pride shining bright.